WWE tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my, inside the WWE Thunderdome for the final pay-per-view event of the year here in 2020. Thanks for tuning in and watching my live reactions play live right here on YouTube. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit that thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE TLC. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. We have two championship TLC matches. It'll be Drew McIntyre defending his WWE title against the phenomenal one AJ Styles. Also, the big dog, head of the table, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns will defend his Universal Championship against surprise fighter Kevin Owens tonight as well. Both championship WWE and Universal Championships once more are in fact tables, ladders, and chairs TLC matches. So we'll have to see how both of those turn out. We also have the first ever Firefly Inferno match with the Fiend Bray Wyatt himself taking on the Viper Randy Orton. Asuka looking for a new tag team partner as Lana was pulled from the pay-per-view event this evening following a, in quotes, injury. Who knows who her tag team partner will be. Rumor is Charlotte Flair will in fact be returning, but it'll be Nia Jax and Shayna Bazer defending their WWE Women's Tag Team titles against Asuka and the mystery partner that we'll find out sometime later on tonight. Also, Sasha Banks and Carmella for the SmackDown Women's title. We actually just witnessed an 8-man tag team match on the WWE TLC kickoff pre-show. It was Big E, Daniel Bryan, Otis, and Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro. And with Sami Zayn as your Intercontinental Champion, and currently in a story with Big E. Big E pinning the IC champ, and for the most part, it looks like Big E and Sami Zayn will do battle at some point down the road from now until the Royal Rumble, probably at the Rumble event about a month from now, mid to late January, as always, for the Intercontinental Championship. We also, though, have tonight the New Day and the Hurt Business for the Raw Tag Team Championships. So in the meantime, the opening video package, WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC, not Tender Love and Care, but I'm sure there's going to be some of that in some of these matches this evening with, of course, the victor, whoever wins these matches, going to be loving themselves, whether they're still going to be champion following the pay-per-view here tonight, or even potentially becoming champion. Now, whether that's as the person that's going up against as the challenger, going up against the champion or not, whether that be AJ or Kevin Owens. We also have The Miz still as Mr. Money in the Bank. So there's a few different routes if, in fact, Miz is going to cash in. He's held the briefcase now for 2 months after defeating Otis at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view event back at the end of October. I don't think it'd be best for him to cash in tonight by any means. But if, in fact, he did, of course, it's going to be on McIntyre. They're not going to have him cash in on the big dog himself, Roman Reigns. However, with those two championship TLC matches, with the two challengers in Styles and Owens, I think Owens has a better shot of beating Reigns than Styles does of beating McIntyre. But if they have Styles defeat Drew, then potentially we could see a cash-in with The Miz, just to make, of course, Styles, reign, only about less than 5 or 10 minutes, however long it'll be at that point later on tonight. But I'm not going to be shocked if both Styles and Owens wins tonight. However, I see both champions retaining. They could have Drew straight up win AJ has his bodyguard, of course, and Almost is going to be ringside as they continue to hype up the final pay-per-view event of the year in tables, ladders, and chairs. It's been a actually good build since the subpar Survivor Series event last month. Of course, brand versus brand, Raw versus SmackDown in the battle for brand supremacy. But and holy hell, the New York Jets just defeated the Rams. I'm sure Jet fans aren't happy about that. We got 2 NFL games currently on right now, with the Chiefs and Saints along with the Eagles and Cardinals. But in the meantime, WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC from the new WWE Thunderdome in St. Pete, just south of Tampa, Florida, at the Tropicana Field, home of the MLB's Tampa Bay Rays. They've been here for a little over a week or so. But we're going to close out the WWE main roster here with this TLC final pay-per-view here tonight. We'll have more live reactions play-by-play of pro wrestling right here on the channel by the end of 2020, so be sure to tune back in for both of those as we'll have some Monday Night Raw along with AEW and WWE NXT. In the meantime, the opening contest will, in fact, and be sure to use that hashtag WWETLC if you haven't done so already when you share on social media. But it's going to be the phenomenal one, AJ Styles challenging the new Scottish Warrior, as they're calling Drew McIntyre, the formerly known Chosen One, Scottish Psychopath, current WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. It'll be McIntyre defending his WWE Championship in this TLC match, of course, with the Raw commentating team ringside on the call. Tom Phillips on a TLC match as well. Be the main event. But it'll be McIntyre defending his WWE Championship, a title he's held since WrestleMania, okay? But he did lose it to Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell before winning it back right before Survivor Series. So, technically 2 reigns in 1. This one's only been a little over a month or so now. I think Drew's going to win. I'm not going to be shocked, like I said, if AJ wins. I'd like AJ to get the title back, of course. But I just don't have a feeling that that's going to happen, at least by any means tonight. But maybe at some point down the road. But as mentioned, you still have The Miz as Mr. Money in the Bank. So he could be lurking at any time to potentially cash in John Morrison by his side. And then you also have McIntyre right now on a feud with Sheamus. So if you put the title, for the most part, with Sheamus, that they've been teasing it. And if you put the title on Styles, okay, you could have Styles Sheamus, but you have more history with McIntyre and Sheamus that you could work with to promote leading into the Royal Rumble, which for the most part is probably going to be, as of now I'm thinking, the WWE Championship match for next year's 2021 Royal Rumble, McIntyre and Sheamus. And then Styles could, go on and do something else, potentially bigger and better things. I don't know how much bigger and better you can get, though, than the WWE. It just makes him off of McIntyre. Of course, it made him look stronger here in the long run, which I said then, and I get it. But, they had Orton hold it for a few weeks, and then they put it right back on Drew right before Survivor Series. And, we had that subpar pay-per-view last month, as mentioned, with the final farewell to The Undertaker, celebrating 30 years. But Miz with the Money in the Bank briefcase, like I said, he can cash in anytime, anywhere, on any champion, whether it be McIntyre or Reigns, but with him on Raw, it's going to be whoever the WWE champion is. I just feel like it'd be best to wait. They're going to have until at least May, unless they figure out a way to potentially extend that, because as always, Money in the Bank's for the most part as of late the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. So and who knows when WrestleMania is going to be. Right now it's penciled in for late March, but it could be moved up. Hell, it could even be pushed back a few weeks, maybe even a month, to late April. and then of course the rest of the calendar, would get screwed up there for a point in time until they get back on track, and then on the road to SummerSlam next year, which will be here before we know it. But we got to get through TLC, of course, tonight, final pay-per-view of the year, and then we'll be on the road to the Royal Rumble, and then both men's and women's Royal Rumble matches, of course. I don't know how they're going to work with those next year, technically, as of right now, just with everything going on. I mean, it's not like they haven't had battle royals and 8 and 10 and 14, 16 man tag team matches, as of late either. So I mean, they'll figure out a way. But right now it's going to be Drew McIntyre coming out, and he's going to defend his WWE title against AJ Styles. Actually, his title is already in the air, hanging from the Thunderdome, as it is a TLC Championship match. So tables, ladders, and chairs all legal. So here comes the so-called new Scottish Warrior, because they don't want to say psychopath anymore yet. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend himself, can have everyone spell it out in the Firefly Funhouse, which I'm perfectly fine with. But it just makes no sense when you've been calling him that for how long, and then just all of a sudden you decide to call him something else. That with half of it, it's still the same as it was, but you change it up just because, we're just going to call him this from now on, because it, to us at least, makes more sense. That's in WWE's eyes, not myself. Brett has their own opinion, which I totally understand, but it is what it is. We move on. Ton of pyro for Drew McIntyre's entrance here as he walks down the ramp. A lot of pyro, a lot of fire coming up from the sides. Mike Rome in the ring, about ready to ring announce here. Introduce our competitors. So Drew's technically almost held the WWE Championship for almost a year. As mentioned, he lost to Orton at Hell in a Cell in that Hell in a Cell match. Won it back a few weeks later on Raw. He's held it since. So, like I said, 2 reigns in 8-9 months. But for the most part, I think he's going to be holding it a little bit longer, until potentially Brock Lesnar even returns, and then we get a rematch, with them maybe. Which I don't think people would mind, because then, unless, of course, Brock gets the title back, which it wouldn't make any sense at that point. But if this is going to be the direction they're going with Drew holding the title for as long as he had, and then lost it, but then winning it back, looking stronger. Okay, well, if he beats Brock again in a rematch potentially and retains, that's just going to make him top dog, as of course that's what they're trying to get across with him on Monday Night Raw and Reigns on SmackDown at the head of the table. But this is a WWE TLC WWE Championship match. I'd assume Almost is going to get involved, because it's anything goes. No DQ, no holds barred. All tables, ladders, and chairs are in fact legal, as mentioned. A little surprised though that this is the opening contest. Just with, especially if they are going to do something with Miz in the Money in the Bank with potential cash-in, which I'm sure they'll tease. I'm sure he'll come down and do what he'll do, but and even Sheamus too potentially interfering, as McIntyre kicks his little robe to Styles, and then Styles throws it into the virtual crowd. WWE Thunderdome, the first pay-per-view inside of this new WWE Thunderdome in Tampa. They're inside a baseball stadium compared to the arena that they were in Amway Center in Orlando. But bell rings, match now underway. They're going to lock up middle of the ring now. AJ with a drop kick right to the left knee right off the bat. And then going to town with some rights and lefts, along with some kicks. But the WWE Universe, of course, in full effect virtually, as it's been since SummerSlam weekend. I did see that they were going to allow some fans coming up here shortly for the upcoming Christmas episode of SmackDown, as Christmas is this upcoming Friday. So hopefully everyone has a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year over the next few weeks if you don't tune back in. Hopefully you will. As mentioned, we'll have more Pro Wrestling Live reactions, play streams live right here on YouTube by the end of the year. So be sure to tune back in for those. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on social media. But now we got a big upset in the NFL today with the Jets defeating the Rams. Would like to say I had a feeling about that was going to happen, of course, but I don't think anybody can say that. Congrats to anyone who had any money on that. It's only won by 3, so if you had them against the spread or on the money line, I'm sure you're very happy right now. Kansas City with a touchdown. And actually didn't go for 2 here, early fourth quarter. And a shuffle pass, and 2 points going to be good. As Kansas City extends their lead against the New Orleans Saints. We also have, as mentioned, the Eagles and Cardinals from out in the desert. And with about 2.5 minutes to play, Eagles down 7 with the ball. But a second and long inside the red zone now, so touchdown will tie it up here. And then Arizona's going to have 3 timeouts and time to potentially win it as time will expire. But back to WWE TLC before NFL Sunday Night Football later on tonight. Browns and Giants flexed in as 49ers Cowboys was flexed out. We saw the boys win 2 in a row earlier this afternoon, as both teams are now 5-9 on the season. Dallas actually still in the hunt for the NFC East, which is a surprise, but hey, it's 2020, so why the hell not? McIntyre with a huge chop to AJ, who's sitting on the top turnbuckle, and then with as hard of a hit that was, AJ goes flying ringside. Almost actually went through a few tables stacked on one another ringside right in front of the announce table. Or actually, there's just one table, and then there's 2 chairs stacked on top of that table. So technically, the table is stacked, but has chairs rather than another table on top of it. Drew just is now picking up chairs left and right, just throwing them all over the place. Picking up a table, gonna set it over top of AJ, who's laying on the ground ringside in front of the announce table, trying to get back to his feet. This is, in fact, if you're just now tuning in, the WWE Championship TLC match with Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. Honestly, the card for TLC tonight, 10 times better than what we had just last month with Survivor Series. In my opinion, at least, I think it is. Survivor Series last month really didn't. They hyped it up, as always, way too much. And it didn't, as Drew picks up Styles, as almost looks on, now working the barricade. Drew picked up AJ and threw him down armpit first, and then just actually slid him across the table into a steel chair. Drew's staring down almost, and you can tell the size difference there is. He's a few inches taller than the WWE champion. Of course, he was the bodyguard for Raw Underground. Of course, that was canceled. I had figured something out for him to do. Well, no Joseph Parks anymore for AJ, so new bodyguard, and it's almost. Drew now with a ladder. This is our first ladder of the evening. He's going to slide it into the ring, that championship title hanging from above. Only way to win, climb the ladder, grab the title, and you'll become champion. Unless it's Drew McIntyre, of course, you'll retain your WWE Championship against AJ Styles. But in times like this is potentially when, Miz could come out or Sheamus could come out. because like I said earlier, there just a second ago, is AJ now from behind, back in the ring with a steel chair right to the back of the left knee of Drew McIntyre. McIntyre falling off the ladder, down and out in the middle of the ring. AJ trying to line that ladder up now. Gonna climb up top maybe here. But they've been teasing a potential feud at some point down the road with Drew McIntyre as the WWE champion and Sheamus as his challenger. And Sheamus, of course, has been champion before, along with Mr. Money in the Bank. So everything ties in, just with the history of, Miz, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles. And, like I said, I'm not going to be shocked AJ wins. I just don't think it's going to happen tonight by any means. But if he doesn't win, what else is there for him to do? Okay, Bobby Lashley's the U.S. champ. They haven't done a damn thing with him as of late. He had a match at Survivor Series, but he's part of the Hurt Business, yes. So they're trying to save him, by the looks of it at least. Hurt Business in tag team action later on for the Raw tag team titles. But then there's also a few different challengers, potentially, as Big E's going to be a challenger, it looks like, for Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Championship. It's going to be potentially Matt Riddle from Monday Night Raw up against Lashley for the U.S. title, as McIntyre actually just slung AJ from the corner into the ladder. AJ caught himself and was about ready to climb up. Now Drew from behind, picking him up, gonna powerbomb him into the ladder. AJ actually rolls it through on a reversal. And then Drew now, as AJ goes face first into a steel chair, set up in between two turnbuckles in the corner. Now seeing Fireflies. Later on, we got a Firefly Inferno match. Now, of course, an Inferno match involves fire. But is it going to be a cinematic type of match tonight at TLC? I don't know. They really haven't said a whole lot about it. They didn't even promote it on Raw. They announced it following the Go Home Raw this past week. I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday of this past week, if I'm not mistaken, when they officially announced, hey, The Fiend Bray Wyatt and the Viper Randy Orton are now going to do battle stipulation-wise in a Firefly Inferno match. So is it going to be inside the Firefly Funhouse? I'm not going to be shocked by any means if it is. I mean, I think it'd be a little bit smart on their end to potentially, have it be a cinematic type of match. Obviously we haven't had a whole lot of those as of late. The last one would have been during NXT Halloween Havoc with Loomis and Grimes. But since the Thunderdome's been a thing, we haven't had any. But we don't need any when it's like this, when there's virtual fans. But at the same time, we got so used to it, they should at least, before we get back to normal, potentially do a few more. But with it being an Inferno match, but technically a Firefly Inferno match, like, are all the Fireflies of Bray Wyatt gonna appear? Are they all gonna be on fire? Like, is Alexa Bliss gonna be involved in that match in some aspect? Probably. I mean, they really haven't done a whole lot with her, with Bray up against Orton as of late compared to what they were doing since Orton became WWE champion, and then even a little bit before then, following the WWE draft. So it'll be interesting to see how that, of course, goes. Hell, that could be the main event. It'll probably be at some point midway through the show, because especially when you have two women's matches, one's probably going to be a co-main event. DDT from Drew to AJ right next to the ladder. It looked like he was going to hit the DDT on the ladders laying flat in the middle of the ring, but they hit it right next to it. But AJ down and out again. Drew in control here, but just, of course, awaiting a potential surprise return or even debut with Asuka's mystery tag team partner. Rumor is it's going to be Charlotte Flair. We haven't seen her since the summer. So be good, honestly, with... And Drew actually just picked up that ladder and, like, literally, like, vertical suplex the ladder by himself and hit the championship title that's hanging from up above as well. Surprised it didn't fall down. And then a chop block from AJ to the back of the left knee of Drew McIntyre. So they're going to work the left knee now as Drew actually takes his knee brace off a little bit. AJ really going to work that left knee now of the WWE champion. But all they're worried about is ratings. Last week's Raw was awful. SmackDown really hasn't been doing that good either. NXT in the same boat. If only the booking was better, and I've been saying this for how long, like, if only, big if, but if only the booking was better, like, give me a break. Like, I don't want to hear it at that point, you know? It is what it is, and they're still going to do what they want to do anyway, so, hey, here we are, we're still watching, so, oh well, it is what it is, as mentioned, but, you know, if Charlotte came back, or if it was, you know, somebody debuting, you know, Tessa Blanchard's, you know, still out there. Rumor is she doesn't want to do anything right now, so we'll see. But, of course, both of those would be a little bit of a boost for right now, but what's the long run going to look like? You know, what's the long-term effect? Are they going to have Asuka Charlotte again at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship on Monday Night Raw for the Raw Women's title? Probably. Becky Lynch ain't going to be coming back anytime soon. She just had her baby alongside the Messiah, Seth frickin' Rollins himself. He's a potential favorite to potentially win next year's Royal Rumble match for the men. You know, Riddle in the same boat, along with Keith Lee potentially. So, hell, maybe even Styles, if he doesn't win tonight, wins the Royal Rumble next month. Technically next year, as we'll hit the end of the calendar year here. And as mentioned, hopefully everyone will have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year over the next few weeks. And if you don't tune back in, okay, I understand, but hopefully you will, because WWE will have a few more Raws, NXTs, and SmackDowns. AEW is going to have a few holiday episodes as well. AEW Holiday Bash with the New Year, and then WWE NXT with New Year's Evil on January the 6th. So we got a lot coming up here over the next month and a half or so, 2 months, as of course football will wind down from now until then as well. So just be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. So Drew with a chair wrapped around his left knee. AJ actually had the calf crusher locked in with that chair around Drew's knee, and then of course you can't tap out because you got to climb the ladder and grab the title to win. So whether Drew was tapping out there or not, I didn't see it, but they finally break it, and both are now in the meantime trying to get back to their feet. So we'll see how this unfolds with the closing of this match. They'll go home here in a second, I would think, before you know, this match continues on, because they'll tease us with the finish. They'll have probably a few more, hey, this is a close call, you know, something along those lines as always. Because it seems like, especially for pay-per-views, over the past few months they've been working those a lot. Another kick to the left knee of Drew McIntyre, and Drew now sitting in the corner, AJ ringside, whacking that leg right off the ring post. AJ now in full control. Right hand. AJ with a smaller ladder than what we've seen ringside, and then right to the head, front of the face of Drew McIntyre. Ref down on a knee talking to him. Now they're near, of course, the end of the walkway there. And the ramp where there's a few more tables and ladders and chairs. AJ actually just kicked the ladder down and then actually just kicked Drew in the chest. Now the steel chair. No, he's just going to throw those down. Actually, he's going to set a chair down and sit in it. Wait for Drew to come nearby. Pick him up. Try to, at least. Actually, he's going to lay him down on the table. And with some right hands. Actually, AJ is going to roll back into the ring. I see what he's going to do here. Drew's laying on the table ringside. AJ has a ladder propped up into the corner. He's climbing to the top. Drew actually gets up and then throws the steel chair at AJ, and AJ falls down in the ring. AJ was probably going to go there for an elbow drop, I bet, through McIntyre through the table ringside, but of course that didn't happen because Drew with the reversal now trying to get up and going to slide that table into the ring. All right, he does have success this time throwing an object in the ring, unlike a few months ago. Ten seconds to play. Eagles still with the football, 1st and 10. Still down 7, 33-26. And especially after the Cowboys won today, this is a must-win for Philly. I still think Washington's going to win the division. The Giants play the Browns later on tonight, Sunday Night Football. And then Kansas City and New Orleans in the 4th quarter. So this should do it. This should be the final play of the ball game. 2nd and 10, Eagles from the 31-yard line. Jalen Hurts starting once again for Fly Eagles Fly. A deep ball down the middle in the end zone. We did have a Hail Mary earlier. Ball going to be incomplete. Still got 2 seconds though, so they're still going to have one more play. And yes, I'm wearing a little green, but this is, as AJ is wearing a little green tonight as well. It must be in the air for this upcoming holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone as well, unless, you know, you're one of those people that says Happy Holidays, so Happy Holidays to you too. But no, this is a Randy Orton shirt, so Orton going to do battle against one of my favorites in the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Later on tonight, Firefly Inferno match, and then of course, another one of my favorites is Kevin Owens going to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title. So, of course, can't wear it all at once, but Hurts, final play now of the game. Deep ball, and it's going to be incomplete in the end zone. Cardinals win. They get to 8-6, and they'll be in the wild card. They win 33-26 over the Philadelphia Eagles as Philly falls to 4-9-1. So that tie coming back to hurt them right now against the Bengals earlier this season. As the Cowboys won earlier, and then Washington did lose. They're 6-8, but the Giants play later on tonight at home against the Brownies, who lost to the Baltimore Ravens last Monday night on ESPN. AJ, in the meantime, just hit a phenomenal form on Drew McIntyre in the middle of the ring. Almost is going to slide in a ladder for AJ. So the only way you can win this match is to, of course, climb the ladder, grab the title, as you would, you know, grab the briefcase for Money in the Bank, as Otis did, but then he lost it to Miz at Hell in a Cell. So Miz is your Mr. Money in the Bank right now. We'll see if we have any interference by Miz or even Sheamus. But for the most part, none as of yet, of course, but this match ain't over until it's over. AJ climbing up the ladder. AJ now as McIntyre from behind. AJ kicking him. But then Drew actually picks him up, and he's pressed him over his head, throws AJ over the top rope, through a table ringside. However, that ladder AJ just put up, still in the middle of the ring, all Drew McIntyre has to do right now is climb that ladder, and he's still WWE Champion. And I bet you any money that's going to be the finish. Unless there's going to be some interference here. But if they don't do anything tonight, look out, potentially starting tomorrow night on Raw. Or, hey, here comes Miz. All right, here's the Miz. He doesn't have his Money in the Bank briefcase, though. It's just Miz by himself. And hey, that Money in the Bank briefcase is also green. Well, hell, never mind. John Morrison from behind. And Morrison has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Morrison telling the ref, hey, Miz is cashing in his Money in the Bank right now, as Miz just put McIntyre through a table. So Miz is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. This match is now a triple threat match. We've seen this before. Miz is cashing in. Miz is a few rungs away from becoming WWE Champion. And WWE TLC is about to become awesome. But here comes Omos from behind, and he's going to grab the Miz's trunks. Actually now holding the Miz like a baby. And he's going to walk over to the ropes. Miz has already cashed in. And Miz threw a table ringside. Is Morrison going to climb the ladder now? Morrison actually from behind with a steel chair. And the chair literally breaks. So of course, they had that rigged. They had that fixed. But technically, Morrison could climb it, couldn't he? Because he was the one who gave the ref the briefcase and cashed in. Saying, hey, I'm cashing in for the Miz, but I'm cashing in this Money in the Bank briefcase. He actually gets scared, and he's going to slide out of the ring almost from behind, actually now exiting the ring, and he's gonna chase down John Morrison, but the Miz actually just went through that table as mentioned. Okay, it looks like he's about to get back in the ring and potentially climb the ladder, but you still got AJ ringside, and you also still got Drew McIntyre. So technically this is a triple threat. Miz is cashed in. I was gonna say, if in fact they don't do anything tonight, you know, look out for tomorrow night or in a few weeks to start off the new year on the road to the Royal Rumble. So all three down and out. And Money in the Bank is now done until May. So we don't have to worry about Money in the Bank anymore. Unless they, of course, as always, figure out a way to get themselves out of it. And Miz is still Mr. Money in the Bank even after cashing in. Because, you know, they tease it all the time. And, hey, no, that wasn't a true cash-in. But, no, they said Miz is cashing in, and this is now a triple threat. So it's Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, and the Miz in this WWE TLC Championship match for the WWE title here tonight at tables, ladders, and chairs. AJ back in the ring. McIntyre trying to get up in the corner. And Miz still ringside, just went through that table as mentioned. So both AJ and Drew going to start climbing the ladder. Miz is probably going to come in, knock them both over, and then set up his own ladder, climb that, and become WWE Champion. Drew and AJ almost simultaneously at the top of the ladder. Drew actually reaching for it. AJ working his left arm. McIntyre the right hand. What's going to happen here? McIntyre grabbing the title? No. Here comes the Miz from behind. AJ and McIntyre still going at it while the Miz is setting up his own ladder right next to their ladder that they're currently on. But Miz is more centered right underneath the WWE Championship. So all Miz is going to do here, he's probably just going to climb the ladder, grab it just like that right next to him to become WWE Champion, or all three of them are going to grab it at once and fall. Actually, Drew just headbutted AJ. AJ's down. Miz and McIntyre going at it with some rights and left at the top of the ladder. WWE title hanging above. Miz grabbing the WWE Championship. Miz falls. Drew McIntyre still up top. McIntyre grabbing the title. Here comes AJ, though. AJ with a right hand to Drew. Is AJ going to win the WWE title? AJ with a right hand. Don't tell me AJ's going to have phenomenal form off the top of the ladder to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre falls. AJ up top. Here comes the Miz again. AJ trying to grab the title. Miz grabbing the title. No, AJ with another right hand. And then McIntyre with Styles and Miz on the top of the ladder. Sends them both flying, as they both just got knocked down. And then a Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre to the Miz. He's going to have to set up one of these ladders again, though, and then climb it and grab the title, and he'll win. Miz ringside, AJ ringside. Here comes Drew McIntyre climbing up the ladder on one leg. Drew McIntyre retains his WWE Championship and is still WWE Champion, defeating AJ Styles and The Miz after The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank. So they have Miz cash in, but then what's the point of Money in the Bank anymore? Another unsuccessful cash in. They have not had a successful cash in quite a while. I get it, it's still the point of keeping people on edge, but... And they did get it right after getting it wrong this year with Otis and then The Miz, but then they have Miz 2 months after cashing in, or excuse me, winning the briefcase, cashing in but not winning. So maybe next year they'll, who knows? If only. It's all the booking, you know? But Drew McIntyre, which I'm fine with, he's been champion for how long? I want him to be champion. I want him to win the Rumble last year. I want him to become champion. He did both, and he's still champion. But then with The Miz, they have him cash in, but he doesn't win. But from now until May, you know, would he cashed in and won? Probably not anyway. So they got it out of the way now rather than wait. Maybe Miz wins the Royal Rumble. Maybe John Morrison wins the Royal Rumble. Why don't you have Morrison climb the ladder there and win it? And then have him and Miz go at it for a little bit. But then what do you do with McIntyre? You know, so... Drew McIntyre still WWE Champion. I think now would be the best time to have Miz turn on Morrison. Hey, we cashed in, but I didn't win. It's your fault, not mine, you know, and go from there. AJ, we'll see what they do with him. They've put him in the highest spot, time in and time out, but since entering the company, they haven't had him become champion. They have had him be champion before, but it's been a while. It's been a good 2.5, 3 years. So Drew McIntyre, WWE Champion, following WWE TLC here this evening, defeating AJ Styles and The Miz. Still to come, we got Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens for the Universal title now backstage with Caleb Braxton. So Caleb Braxton backstage. See who's... Okay. Paul Heyman. Yeah, it's Paul Heyman.
This past Friday night, Kevin Owens said that he would win the Universal Championship back or die trying. Considering that is Kevin's mindset heading into tonight's match, does that
So for competency, I see once again. Why don't I just reveal our strategy? Kevin Owens is obviously watching what I'm saying live right now. Here's the question you should be asking. Mr. Heyman, are you a sports fan? Yes, I am, Kayla. You know what my favorite sport is? Outside of WWE?
Baseball. NASCAR. He likes car crashes. He wants tonight's TLC Universal Championship match to be a wreck. A total wreck for Kevin Owens.
Because this is a dangerous enough profession as it is. People get hurt. Tonight, people thrown off of ladders, through tables, propelled off of those ladders, through the tables, chairs, which are not only encouraged, but they're legal.
Everything is legal. All these matches should be TLC matches. But, you know, with the cleanup time post-match, regardless if they have a 10-minute video package hyping up the match or not, they're not going to be able to do all that, even though they have the material. Roman Reigns. Spoiler. Believe that. So we just saw Drew McIntyre retain his WWE Championship, which I'm not surprised by at all. Of course, well, it looks like we're going to have a SmackDown match next. Probably Sasha and Carmella. Yep. So the co-main event's going to be that Women's Tag Team Championship match with the big surprise return, potentially with Charlotte as a mystery partner, you know, coming out to help Asuka, maybe even to win the titles, I don't know. But then we'd have Reigns, and maybe that's even going to be the main event, I don't know. But then we'd have Reigns and Owens for the Universal title. As for the most part, with the 6 matches here tonight, split down the middle with Raw and SmackDown being represented. But, no, a good opening match with Drew, AJ, and then The Miz cashing in and making a triple threat. Did not win, but, you know, not surprised that Drew won. You know, like I said a little bit ago, for the most part, that's the way it's going to be for the time being. Which, you know, we've gotten used to it. That's why it didn't make any sense when he lost it to Orton, but then he won it back, which, you know, like I said then, yeah, it does make him look stronger. But it's just the point of, well, why now? You know? Like, why'd you even take the title off him if you're just going to put it right back on? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But in their eyes, it does, because in the long run, it'll work itself out, which I get, but... And if it's going to make him look stronger, okay. But with Miz there, I just hope with The Miz that they do something with him and John Morrison now. Maybe as a tag team, maybe one of them, you know, turning on each other, Miz turning on Morrison for the most part, because John cashed in, but then, you know, Mike was the one in the match, and didn't win, and another unsuccessful Money in the Bank run. Like I said, what's the point of even having Money in the Bank if you're not going to do anything with it? You know, it's one of the most unique, it's one of the best things they have going that, you know, could change the course of the next year in the WWE. But just as of late, they, for the most part, it just seems like they put it on the back burner after it happens, and then, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. And if it works itself out, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, they're not really that worried about it. So if they're not that worried about it, from the looks of it, and from what we've seen, you know, what's the point? But, you know, like I said too, if Miz was going to still continue to hold it and then cash in later and probably still not win, like, well, you might as well get it out of the way now than wait. But then they're worried about ratings, as they always are. Well, have them tease a cash in every week, you know, to close out the show, for God's sakes. Like, some things just don't add up or make any sense, but hey, they're still going to do what they want, so here we are. Carmella with her new entrance, and if Grace is SAWFT, there's something wrong. But it'll be Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary for Sasha Banks defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Carmella, who attacked Sasha following the Survivor Series pay-per-view on Friday Night SmackDown there a few weeks back. So they're changing up Carmella's character. She's still, you know, FABULOUS, but she's definitely not winning. Sasha's going to retain. And at this point, I mean, are we even going to have any title changes tonight? Probably not. It's going to be one of those. I mean, if so, maybe one, you know, be the Hurt Business, potentially defeating the New Day, I think. Or with Asuka and her mystery partner, probably Charlotte or whoever it's going to be, you know, defeating Nia Jax and Shayna Bazer, because they've held those women's tag team titles for quite a while. So, you know, what else do you have for them to do? Yeah, it'll probably be Asuka and Charlotte defeating Nia and Shayna, I bet, if we have any title changes. That's the one I'm expecting now, with just the outcome we saw a little bit ago with McIntyre retaining. Because like I said, between Owens and Styles, I feel like Owens has a better shot of becoming champion tonight than AJ does. And of course that is still true to an extent because we haven't had the other match yet. But we'll see what happens here. So Sasha's going to win, just as Drew did. We'll get the Firefly Inferno match as well, which is of course non-title because the Firefly Inferno is a stipulation and neither competitor has a championship title at this point. But yeah, it'll be Asuka and Charlotte, I bet, the only title change, if we have title change. Sasha's not one of them. We're going to lose this. This should hopefully be a good match show. We'll see. Honestly doubt it, because Sasha Banks is involved. Hey, here we are. So Carmella with her little security that she's got as well, using some extras from NXT to fill in with their roles up on the main roster, but we'll see how this unfolds. Sasha's gonna win, so I'll leave it at that. If Carmella wins, I think that'd be the shock of the year. Other than, of course, middle of March. Well, we're in the middle of a pandemic now, and you know nothing's gonna be normal until God knows when. So Carmella actually fixing her ring gear now ringside as she slid out of the ring as the bell rang. So being counted out until she enters. Here comes Sasha. Gonna Just go right after the Chiefs now. 2 injuries to both running backs with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell. And Clyde's injury did not look good by any means earlier. Looked like a left leg, lower body injury. And now Le'Veon Bell just got face masked and then wrapped down awkwardly. Well, he fell awkwardly, I should say, on one of his legs there, it looks like. He's actually up and good to go. I guess he's all right, so I can't see losing them both in one game. That would suck. But the Cardinals were just victorious. The Jets finally won a goddamn game. The number 1 pick for them could be in jeopardy now because both of them and the Jaguars still have only 1 win. So, like I said earlier, I'm sure Jet fans aren't happy that they won. Rather have them go 0-16. Kansas City's going to win here against the Saints. So some of these late afternoon games coming to an end before Sunday Night Football with Cleveland and New York with Browns and Giants. And then tomorrow night on Monday night, Steelers and Bengals. I'll have live reactions play with WWE Monday Night Raw live right here on YouTube. So be sure to tune back in tomorrow night. But right now, as we witness Drew McIntyre defeat AJ Styles and The Miz in what became a triple threat WWE Championship Tlc match following the cash-in from Mike the Miz Mazan with Miz and Mrs. Maurice. We're now witnessing Sasha Banks defend her SmackDown Women's title against Carmella. So, over the past few weeks, we'll see how this pay-per-view is with the NXT TakeOver War Games event from 2 weeks ago. For the most part, this is already better than Survivor Series. In my opinion, at least it is. It still has a long ways to go to how good TakeOver War Games was, but following tonight, they'll have a long time before Royal Rumble rolls around. They'll have a lot of Raws and SmackDowns to go through, so hopefully the booking from now until then will be all right. You know, it just depends. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Really haven't even thought about it yet with just everything going on, of course, but and with that being a little over a month away, you know, that's the next pay-per-view, but you know, we'll have everything we'll get from now until then, as always. So Sasha holding her back as Carmella just pulled her down as they were both standing on the ring apron. Sort of a backstabber, but then she actually just pulled her down from the top of her head, grabbing her hair, pulled her down, and Sasha hit back first on the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring. 1, 2, and a kick out by Sasha Banks. So the only way to win this is, of course, by pinfall. So back to the normal way of winning matches rather than having to climb a ladder and grab a briefcase or a title win, as we saw earlier with McIntyre, as mentioned once again, with defeating AJ Styles and Miz to retain his WWE title. But we'll see what AJ does. I mean, I'm just trying to think of the other superstars on Monday Night Raw right now, but you know, he could go up against. Not unless they're not going to do anything with him from now until whenever, okay. But, like, if he's going to be taking time off, or if they just don't have anything for him to do, which he's AJ Styles, for God's sakes, he's the best wrestler in the world. Like, come on. Like, you would think they'd have something for him to do. So, And I'm sure which it was hard to see Daniel Bryan in that 8-man tag earlier, but I know both of them, for a fact that they have say on what they're going to do. So, AJ, I mean, maybe up against Lashley. I mean, that's old school TNA. Sasha, 1-2, and a kick out by Carmella. But where does that, unless they're going to put the U.S. title on them, and then Lashley up against whoever afterwards, what does that do for either of them? It's just a holding. They'd both be in a holding pattern because Lashley is not that good anyway, and they really haven't done anything with him. Yeah, he's a part of the Hurt Business. Maybe AJ is going to be in a tag team for once. Give a little boost to the tag team division. I wouldn't mind that. Just who's going to be his tag team partner? That'd be the big question. And it sure is only going to be almost. But then you have, Miz and John Morrison potentially as a tag team. But I feel like, as I've been saying, have one of them turn on each other. And have it be for Money in the Bank or after they win the title. But, of course, Miz cashed in and no one won. 1, 2... Graves going nuts on commentary. Another 1, 2, another kick out by Sasha Banks. Third pin in a row. 1, 2, another kick out. Carmella was this close 3 separate times of becoming your new WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, but Sasha Banks with 3 separate kickouts. And this match will continue. But then even what's next for Drew McIntyre? Sheamus? It's probably going to be Sheamus. Because, like I said, they've teased that. And I'm sort of glad, we're there with that because it was, for the most part, not really going anywhere. Like, they just kept running and running with it. And, hey, there's portrayed with Morrison cashing in and then Miz losing. So it's tough. I don't know. We'll see. 1, 2, and then Sasha grabs bottom rope. Did Carmella get her same outfit, or her outfit from the same seamstress as Lana? I swear that's Lana's purse, just with the design being a little different. The same that Lana would wear on Monday Night Raw. And now actually Lana, as mentioned, isn't even part of TLC tonight. They pulled her, because of a so-called injury, just to bring in somebody as a mystery partner for Asuka later on in that WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match with Nia Jax and Shayna Bazer. So we'll see what happens, but just the little things you always seem to notice more than the big picture when it should be the other way around. And off the top rope, Sasha actually rolls it through, kick out at 2 by Carmella, quick roll it from Carm from behind, 1, 2, another kick out. So a lot of pinfalls here, but a lot of kickouts as this match will continue on. 1, 2, there we go. Again, another kick out. And now they're sitting in the middle of the ring, back to back. Stand up. Carmella, no. Sasha rolls it through. 1, 2. Carmella now has a submission locked in on the headlock. Trying to get Sasha Banks to tap out here. Sasha ain't going to tap. Not unless whoever the hell Carmella's sidekick is there, ringside, or even Bayley comes out and interferes. But then Carmella rolls through on that submission, locks in another submission, and we're going to try to get Sasha Banks to tap out here. 1, 2, and kick out as Sasha just rolled that through. It's real sneaky, I thought. But we'll see what happens here in this finish. The match is all right, not bad. Two women's matches, as mentioned. One being a tag team match. We also have a Raw Tag Team Championship match as well. And then a Firefly Inferno match, which is going to include a lot of fireflies and fire. And then another Championship TLC match. So, and that'll do it for the pay-per-view by, I think, 9:30, 10 o'clock, as always, since the pandemic began. The pay-per-view's shorter than usual, not going to 10:30, 11 o'clock, on a Sunday night. But then a running knee off of the ring apron from Sasha to Carmella's aide, as he actually drug Carmella out of the ring, and then after the double knee from Sasha, Carmella with a few super kicks ringside, rolling Sasha in the ring, pin, kick out at 2, match continues. And we're live. Hashtag WWE TLC when you share on social media. This is in fact WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. The final pay-per-view event of the year. It'll be Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and then WrestleMania. Unless, of course, they add in a few others from now until then, of course. With, NXT, New Year's Evil, if they're having events like that, bring back, like I've stated before, St. Valentine's Day Massacre on Valentine's Day next year. Carmella's going to tap out here. Sasha Banks with the crossface, getting Carmella to tap out. Sasha Banks retains and is still your WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. So 2 championship matches to kick things off tonight. Both champions retain. And first match was better than this last one here, I thought. But we've still got a long night ahead of us, so we'll see how everything, of course, unfolds. To give an overall recap of how TLC 2020 was, but already better, I think, than Survivor Series from last month. It seems like it's every other, so that's not a good sign for the Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania early next year, unless they add in a few more, like I said. But, if only the booking was 10 times better, because they're the ones calling the shots. If only the booking was better and, they just figured out, hey, this is what we're going to do here for now, which, okay, I get it, that's technically what they're doing, but in some circumstances, some instances, what the hell is even the point? Like, some stuff's just so stupid, whether it's such good shit or not, and they wonder why ratings are near zero. Just do this all day long, shake your head side to side. But if they're doing something good, it's this way, and then you probably got a little smile and all that. Now Billie Kay backstage, okay, she's gonna give Asuka her resume to potentially become Asuka's mystery tag team partner later on tonight, which of course ain't gonna happen by any means. Yeah, her headshot, and then the resume on the back. At least they're doing something with Billie Kay after they split up the Iconics, because Peyton Royce, of course, the better of the two. But, and with Asuka on Raw as the Raw Women's Champion, Billie Kay, she's bounced around on Raw and SmackDown. Now here tonight, TLC pay-per-view. But she's been on SmackDown for the most part, out of any of them. So why is she going up to Asuka saying, hey, I want to be your tag team partner tonight? but maybe they're going to put it on Raw. I don't know. It's not going to be Billie Kay. They're just, of course, adding this into the pay-per-view here tonight just to fill some time. They had Billie Kay with a papier-mâché mask to Asuka. Hey, I can do this during your entrance, but Asuka says no, hands her back her picture and resume, and Billie Kay walks off before we fade to black and hit this, what is this, WWE Super Card for the game. Yeah, WWE Super Card promo before our next upcoming match. Well, actually, WWE Shop in the meantime. And just in time, of course, for the holidays. But, we went Raw, SmackDown, so we're going to have a Raw match next. We're probably going to have New Day Hurt Business, I bet you any money, coming up next. WWE tables, ladders, and chairs here tonight. Yep. I'm a mind reader. Here comes the Hurt Business. It'll be Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, if I'm not mistaken. With, of course, Bobby Lashley still your United States champion and MVP. At the head of the table for the Hurt Business, in charge. So no Bobby Lashley. He doesn't even come out with Hurt Business. Maybe he'll interfere at some point during the match. But no, we're I'm in with the Hurt Business. MVP leading the way. He really hasn't wrestled a whole lot lately. He's just been managing, in charge of the Hurt Business with Lashley, Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. But it'll be Shelton, Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander challenging the New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles. So we'll then have a SmackDown match after this, you would think, but I don't even think there is another SmackDown match other than the upcoming Universal Championship match. So no, because we already had the 8-man tag on the kickoff pre-show. Big E won for his squad, pinning the Intercontinental Champion, and Sami Zayn setting up a potential match for that title at some point down the road. Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles with The Miz cashing in and setting up a triple threat match for the WWE Championship, TLC style. That was the opening contest. We just saw Sasha Banks defeat and retain her SmackDown Women's title against Carmella. So both McIntyre and Banks still champs at this point in time, almost midway through TLC here tonight. And then we have New Day Hurt Business right now, with the only SmackDown match still to come, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, TLC match for the WWE Universal Championship. So after this, it's either going to be Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, and then The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match. So night already flying by, but when you have only 5, 6, 7 matches on the card, and whether you give them time or not, yeah, even with entrances, time's going to go by. Now, of course, they could add something in, maybe Elias. You know, I'm not going to be shocked about that. Really haven't seen him, though, since the incident with Jeff Hardy a few weeks back on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, they could have Elias maybe, or another backstage promo, or a vignette hyping up the Royal Rumble, as they will, as always, later on tonight. So we did have a backstage interview with Caleb Braxton earlier, interviewing Paul Heyman. Now Charlie Caruso and Gorilla interviewing the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Big E, of course, on SmackDown by himself. He's going to be getting a Intercontinental Championship match at some point, just a matter of when. But here come the New Day. It'll be the New Day and Hurt Business for the Raw Tag Team titles tonight at WWE TLC. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Bell rings, match underway. A super kick right off the bat from Kofi Kingston to Cedric Alexander. And then a kick out on the pin right off the bat after a 1 count. Tag made, Kofi tagging in Xavier Woods. Woods legal, going up top. Gonna go for a frog splash, or actually a leg drop off the top rope to Cedric Alexander. Another cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. That sucked for Shelton, not even getting in. What's up with Al Michaels not doing Sunday Night Football? Mike Tirico once again with Chris Collinsworth. It's been for the past few games. Just odd. Now, of course, if he has the vid, you know, that's different. I'd understand, but he did, because it goes back to Thanksgiving. They did the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Was supposed to do the Sunday following, didn't. Of course, that time, that's when the scheduling incidents with Pittsburgh and Baltimore occurred. He came back the following Sunday, though, which would have been 2 weeks ago, the 7th. But then wasn't on Sunday night last week and isn't on Sunday night tonight. And next Sunday night, it'll be, or actually in 2 weeks, the final Sunday night game of the year. Next week is actually Tennessee and Green Bay, which should be a damn good Sunday night game to close out Christmas weekend. But it was a Christmas miracle earlier with the Jets winning their first game of the year, and they might have lost the first pick. They might have. We'll see. But both of them and Jacksonville both have 1 win with 2 games to play. But then in Week 17 Sunday Night Football, we'll see what game gets flexed in, whether it's going to be Miami and Buffalo or even Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Probably the latter now, with Buffalo clinching the AFC East last night on an NFL Saturday when they beat the Broncos. So the Packers also beat the Panthers last night. Now, if Cleveland loses tonight, Pittsburgh wins the AFC North without even playing a game this weekend once again. As before Pittsburgh played last Sunday night and lost to Buffalo, they clinched the playoff spot with the Dolphins losing to the Chiefs. Now, Miami beat New England today. Patriots eliminated from playoff contention for the first time since 2008. The Dolphins will play the Raiders next Saturday night. We'll have an NFL game, of course, tonight with Sunday Night Football. It'll be Browns-Giants tomorrow night, Steelers-Bengals on Monday Night Football. And then no more Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football is done for the year. We had our last Thursday night game this past Thursday with the Chargers and Raiders. However, we'll have a Christmas Day game this upcoming Friday on Christmas with the Vikings and Saints, as both teams lost today. Now on Saturday, a triple header. It'll be Bucks, Lions, 49ers, Cardinals, along with those Miami Dolphins and Vegas Raiders playing in Sin City next Saturday night. But next Sunday, the Colts will be in Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and then also next Sunday night, Titans-Packers. But just as Pittsburgh didn't even have to play last week, they clinched the playoff spot. If Cleveland loses tonight, Pittsburgh wins the AFC North. Now, if Cleveland wins tonight, Pittsburgh wins tomorrow night against the Bengals, the Steelers still win the AFC North. So maybe even a potential third different game between the two that we've been thinking of could be flexed into Sunday Night Football in 2 weeks' time to wrap this up with Al Michaels potentially back on the call with Chris Collinsworth for Sunday Night Football beginning next week with the Titans and Packers in the Week 17 game with whoever's going to be playing in that flexed-in game from earlier in the afternoon to Sunday Night Football in 2 weeks' time. But here tonight, WWE Tlc, a few days before Christmas. It's the New Day and Hurt Business for the WWE Monday Night Raw Tag Team Championships. So with Browns Giants about to kick off, looks like Cleveland's on to kick off with the Giants back deep to receive. It'll be two first-year NFL head coaches with Kevin Stefanski and the New York Football Giants head coach and Joe Judge. Browns should have beat the Ravens last week, but after Lamar Jackson came back from taking a shit, he led the Ravens to victory and a bad beat, with the game ending with a safety, 47-42. The Giants potentially here, Dion Lewis, an opening game kickoff. No, he's going to be brought down after a very good return, though, down the far sideline, setting up shot 1st and 10 for Big Blue. We'll see who's playing quarterback tonight, whether it be Daniel Jones or Colt McCoy. But back to WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC. Cedric Alexander 1-2. Xavier Woods breaks up the pinfall. Here comes Shelton. Shelton Benjamin, one of the most underrated, underutilized performers in all of the WWE, especially during his first run and his current WWE run. Tag made, Shelton legal. At least they're trying to do something to move forward with the Hurt Business, though. You know, they're trying to work through everything that's been going on, of course, but they're trying to get them over as their top heel stable. But in my opinion, Bobby Lashley is the only downfall in the group. Maybe if only he moved on and was doing his own thing, but that's how they're protecting Lashley, having him in a 4-man group where, you know, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. And then when he does do something, people will be shocked by it. But then at that point, too, nobody's going to give a damn, because nobody likes him to begin with, especially myself, because he's the Goldberg of this generation. He's not that good. He is not a wrestler. Shelton from the top rope, just picking up Kofi Kingston and slinging him to the middle of the ring. Just like if he was flipping burgers at Mickey D's. Nice suplex from Shelton. And then Cedric from behind tags himself in. Cedric now legal. Gonna go for a cover on Kofi. 1, 2, 3. The Hurt Business are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. So what I said just a little bit ago, out of any of these matches with a title change, it's going to be this match. Well, voila, here we are. Don't like to brag or pat myself on the back by any means, but hey, shit happens, and the Hurt Business, well, they just defeated the New Day, and that happened. They are your new Monday Night Raw Tag Team Champions. So they, as here comes Bobby Lashley with his United States Championship, just like what the Undisputed Era was this time last year, draped in gold. However, MVP doesn't have any. Okay? He's by himself, all off in his lonesome now with no championships. But as I've stated time and time again, and just bringing up maybe Lashley goes off and does his own thing to add into this with what I've been saying, they need to have MVP turn on Bobby Lashley, okay? Put the U.S. title back on MVP. Have Lashley go off and do whatever the hell he's going to do. And then have the Hurt Business be a 3-man stable, just as the New Day were for how long, until Big E just got put on SmackDown with Kingston and Woods on Raw as champions, and now a title change. So the Hurt Business with all the gold, Lashley, U.S. champ, Cedric and Shelton, your new Raw Tag Team champions. They still need to figure out the tag team division along with the women's division in my eyes, but I've been saying that for how long, so here we are. Nothing's really changed from now until then, and nothing probably will change from now until whenever, because but I mean, good for Cedric, good for Shelton. First time he's held championship gold in WWE in probably a good 15 years. You know, of course, whether it's as a singles competitor or a tag team. But now a new year with new opportunities. And this is a Royal Rumble promo. Same dream. Get to WrestleMania. Royal Rumble. End of January. However, from now until then, we got the Slammy Awards this Wednesday. Those are returning. Those will be on WWE social media. We actually just had the Sammy Awards, though, on SmackDown this Friday night. And that fueled Sami Zayn and Big E a little bit more for the Intercontinental Championship. But, I mean, those things are pointless. Whether the fans vote for them or not, or whether they say they do or not, which technically we can't vote, but, you know. No, they'll, as they've probably done before. This person has won, he should win, but no, we're going to have this person win instead. You know, because we want to book it like this. If only the booking was better, you know. But, no, Royal Rumble going to be the next pay-per-view, of course, as always, in January of 2021. And for right now, still inside the WWE Thunderdome. Because from now until then, nothing's really going to be changing anyway. So we're stuck in Groundhog Day for another however long it's going to be until we get back to normal. So, but that was actually pretty good, I thought, on Friday night on SmackDown. The Sammy Awards. And Sammy, of course, winning all the awards that he gave out, and then Big E winning Superstar of the Year. And then, you know, attacking Sammy, and then thank you, and then, you know, walking off. And then this leaked earlier today, and of course they're going to play it into the story. I'm sure it was already, you know, planned to happen like this as it is, with Sammy getting caught saying some stuff on Caleb Braxton's Instagram, which, other than, you know, it being a Instagram Live, how the hell do you get audio from Instagram? Because there was just a still picture with the audio playing. Like, I doubt that it actually came from Caleb Braxton's Instagram. It's just, you know, something they're playing with and seeing if it works. Yet they know, and we all know, it's not going to, because it's not as it is right now. Because, like, you can't even get this straight, for God's sakes. Like, if you made it realistic, then maybe. But when it's just as stupid can get, you know, throwing something up against the wall and seeing if it sticks, okay, but just no. So we're going to stay with Monday Night Raw. We'll have a Raw match coming up next. What's it going to be? And it is going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Bazer defending against Asuka and whoever the hell Asuka's mystery partner is going to be. And you can tell that silhouette does look a little like Charlotte, but we'll see. It was supposed to be Lana. Lana, unfortunately, not going to go through another table tonight. But they need to take women's tag team titles off of Nia and Shayna, and have Shayna turn on Nia, because Nia is not that good. All she does is injure people. But they wrote Lana out of this story. Probably only because they found out, oh, hey, this person's coming in or this person's able to return right now, and why not? You know, screw over this person with, you know, giving the opportunity to somebody else just like that, as they always do anyway. So this will be the third to last match. We still got, with Nia Jax, Shayna Bazer, Asuka, and the mystery partner for the women's tag team titles, along with The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match that I have no clue in hell how that's going to happen or go. And then our main event, unless that's going to be the main event, and then the co-main event would be Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens for the Universal title in a TLC match. So, at least the last two matches, in my eyes at least, unless they add in, you know, something else, like I said, are going to be good. But, we'll see. It's been an alright night for the most part. It's been pretty good. I mean, that 8-man tag earlier, right before I came on, beginning the stream tonight for live reactions, play of WWE, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC. And once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. That was a good match. McIntyre, Styles, and The Miz getting involved, making a triple threat to kick off the night. WWE Championship TLC match. That was good. Sasha and Carmella wasn't bad. Sasha retaining as well. And then we also just saw the Hurt Business defeat and become your new Raw Tag Team Champions over the New Day. So now, yeah, Nia Jax, Shayna Bazer with Asuka and the mystery partner, with the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in the Firefly Inferno match. Reigns Owens Universal TLC match. So, starting strong. Hopefully this pay-per-view will also end strong. And then they'll, with the booking from now until the Royal Rumble, give us some clues, but not a lot. You know, hint here, hint there. Don't overdo it, as they always do for the big pay-per-views, and then don't execute. Don't come through, as they did for, in my opinion, with Survivor Series. I don't think Survivor Series is that good at all. The only good thing that happened during that pay-per-view event was the farewell of The Undertaker. Other than we did have McIntyre and Reigns in a champion versus champion match. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll see in near minutes who Asuka's tag team partners going to be. And from what we've heard, rumor is it's going to be Charlotte. But it could very well be, you know, someone else. But who? You know? Like, if it's not Charlotte, who the hell is it? Gonna be somebody coming up from NXT? Gonna be Beth Phoenix? Gonna be Lillian Garcia? Gonna be Tamina? Like, we'll find out. We'll find out. And it is, in fact, Charlotte Flair. No way. Oh, shut the hell up. Byron's having a goddamn heart attack. So what'll happen? Nia and Shayna should drop the titles. They should, but they probably won't. They'll find a way to win. That's just so stupid. And then they'll keep the titles and not do a damn thing with them until next time something like this happens. They should drop them. Have Asuka and Charlotte become women's tag team champs. And then from now until WrestleMania, because we'll get Asuka Charlotte at WrestleMania now probably for the Raw Women's title. So, just like I said earlier, I mean, thought about it a little bit more, but what other reason with her coming back right now is there for this? Other than, you know, with what I just said, to give them something to do over the next, you know, 3-4 months. So, Charlotte's back. She's hugging out with Asuka. Yeah, she'll be the one to turn on Asuka. She'll be the heel. Because she'll act all sweet and then just out of the blue turn on her and flip. And, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Just a matter of when. It won't be until after the next to last, it won't be until the night after the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Whenever that is going to be, and whatever pay-per-view it's going to be, that's that next night on Raw. That's when it's going to happen. You can. Okay, Asuka and Shayna start off. Shayna with some kicks. You know, you can dull your eyes and cross your T's on that and sign a contract. Take it to the bank. That's, for the most part, 95% with what I'm thinking is going to happen. So, we'll see. This match should be good. Charlotte, of course, coming back. We haven't seen her, like I said earlier, since sometime over the summer. So this is honestly her first time in the Thunderdome. She's actually going to tag in. She's legal. She's back. It'll be Charlotte and Shayna Bazer in this Women's Tag Team Championship match at WWE Tlc. She goes right after Shayna, big clothesline. Right hand of Nia on the ring apron. Nia does not fall down, though. Come on, says Charlotte. Nia tags in. Charlotte says bring it, so it's Charlotte and Nia Jax. Charlotte from behind. Nia actually going to drive her into the corner. Off the ropes goes Charlotte. Big shoulder tackle now. They stand still. Tag made. Asuka back in. Asuka off the ropes with an elbow and then a kick to Nia Jax. Code breaker. You got to give it to Byron. He is good on commentary every once in a while. Because they're trying to tell a story, you know. Freaking out that Charlotte's back. Like, come on. Barnes is horned up with her as Cole is with Boss Time. Like, come on. So Nia tags in Shayna. Shayna with some stomps to the inside of the left arm of Asuka. So it's Asuka and Shayna. Charlotte trying to get in. And if, and hopefully, Nia and Shayna drop these titles, I understand from what we've heard and whether it's all true or not and what they've done with Shayna Bazer. The best that she's done up on the main roster is a tag team champion. She's former NXT Women's Champion. Actually, we've got 3 out of the 4 competitors former NXT Women's Champions in this match right now. With Charlotte returning, helping Asuka, and then you also have Shayna Bazer. Nia is just Nia. But if you take the titles off of Nia and Shayna, you give the women's division, whether it be on Raw or SmackDown, another singles competitor to potentially, challenge for the championship. And then you finally put a title on Shayna because she absolutely deserves it more than anybody else. But no, we're going to have Charlotte come back and have her win it for the 20th time in the past 20 months. Because technically they say a title reign is, hey, you win it until you lose it, and then you win it right back. So Charlotte wins it one night, loses it the next night, wins it the next night. There's 2 reigns in 3 days. She's a 2-time champion at that point. I mean, look at Flair. Rick's a 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. And with Charlotte, they'll get to that point eventually. If they don't ever do, Cena or Triple H or Orton or whoever breaking Ric Flair's record, they'll save it for Charlotte, and she'll be a 16-time women's world champion. But title reigns with how strong of a champion she was, back to that. She's popular. She's like Sasha. She's a better wrestler than Sasha Banks, of course, because Ric Flair's her dad, for God's sakes. It's the booking, and as Asuka tries to make a tag, Shayna from behind ringside, pulling Charlotte down, but then she gets back up. Asuka tags Charlotte in, so Charlotte legal against Nia. Charlotte with some chops right to the chest of Nia Jax. And what do you know, there's Nate himself, Ric Flair, backstage in Gorilla. He is in Tampa. He is at the WWE Thunderdome, supporting his daughter Charlotte Flair's return to the WWE this evening following an injury. And Kip up. Charlotte in control here of both Nia and Shayna. Stomp right to the back of the left knee. Yeah. Take her out. Big drive-by on the kick. 1, 2. Kick up by Nia Jax. And then Asuka with a kick on the ring apron, taking out Shayna ringside. This match actually isn't that bad. Pay-per-view isn't that bad. I'm surprised we don't have a women's TLC match, though, for a championship. Because the past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, we had a women's championship TLC match to main event both shows. The past 2 years, following Survivor Series, which, of course, once again, here we are this year with TLC 2020 to close out the year, following Survivor Series from last month. So, Nia with Charlotte up on her shoulders. Asuka tagged in. Nia didn't see it. Samoan drop from behind. Here comes Asuka off the top rope. Drop kick to Nia. Nia goes flying. Shayna Bazer tags in, so now it's Asuka and Shayna Bazer. Kick misses from Asuka. Asuka reversing the submission. And then they're going to back into the corner. Charlotte tags in. So now it's Charlotte and Shayna. Charlotte with a big boot to Nia. And then here comes Shayna from behind. Quick roll up. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. They're going to have Charlotte turn and get rolled up like that and lose. Charlotte going to put the figure 4 in on Shayna. They might have Shayna tap out, which won't do her any good. Here comes Nia breaking that up. Asuka ringside taking out Nia Jax. Shayna from behind once again on Charlotte with a submission locked in. 1, 2 on a roll up. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte Flair along with Asuka defeat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and become your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So both matches that I said could potentially have title changes, both change hands, with the Hurt Business defeating the New Day, and now, as Asuka is still your Raw Women's Champion, Asuka and the mystery partner of Charlotte defeat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and become your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions here tonight at WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. TLC for short, but thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. Links in the description below. Yeah, so break up Nia and Shayna. Nobody's going to care. And then have them hold the... Of course, they'll get a rematch, but have Asuka and Charlotte hold these titles until they lose them right before WrestleMania, and then Charlotte turns on Asuka, and then they'll have Asuka Charlotte again at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Just as they did a few years back for a Women's Championship, as well as Charlotte broke the undefeated streak of Asuka. They fade to black. Happy holidays from WWE. Happy holidays from myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool and Luke 96 as well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. But Drew McIntyre in the ring cutting a promo, and here comes 2020. What the hell? Was it supposed to be your year? They recorded this probably when they filmed Tribute to the Troops, or even, yeah, I bet you when they filmed this after Tribute to the Troops, or after they filmed this upcoming week's SmackDown, if they even did that yet. But now they have all these superstars hitting their signature moves on this 2020 character that's like fungus. It's 2021. Here comes Superman in 2021. Like, how much more cornier could you get? Give me a break. And you wonder why no one watches, whether that's supposed to be funny or not. Like, come on. Now backstage, we got Big E talking with R-Truth. Sami Zayn interrupts. Your lips don't touch when you say the word Dutch. They separate. You're not as smart as me, says Sami Zayn. Sami as Intercontinental Champion this past few months, because he held the title, he actually won it back at Elimination Chamber in March, which was a shock. defeated Braun Strowman, but then Braun beat Goldberg at Mania, and this was right before the pandemic, and then they had to do what they had to do, which I totally get. But then Sammy was on hiatus until returning right after SummerSlam, and won back the Intercontinental title at Clash of Champions. So he's held it for a few months now. They're actually going to have Reigns and Owens be the co-main event in this Firefly Inferno match as the main event of the evening with Wyatt and Orton. All right. But coming up next, yeah, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, a WWE Universal Championship TLC match for the Universal title. The big dog, tribal chief, head of the table, Roman Reigns, against the prize fighter Kevin Owens. And he's not going to back down without a fight. He'll die trying. Yeah, Reigns is going to retain. McIntyre retains, so Reigns is going to retain. But what Reigns is going to do next, I don't know. Maybe Daniel Bryan. You know, they've been teasing that. You know, Bryan earlier was in that 8-man tag. You know, just in it for the hell of it. You know, they really haven't done anything with him since the Jey Uso segment. And Jey Uso, of course, side by side with Reigns. But we're going to be on the island with the big dog at the head of his table. Owens is awesome, though. The promos he's been cutting, hyping up this match, been incredible. But, you know, like I said earlier, between Owens and Styles, of the two, I thought Owens before the matches even began, and then still technically to a point because this match hasn't happened until now, coming up next, that Owens would have a better shot of winning tonight than Styles would and becoming a champion. Not, okay, you're going to win, but it's by DQ and, you know, Reigns retains, or even McIntyre retains. But McIntyre's still your WWE champion. We had a few title changes already, so not one here. It'll be Reigns defeating Owens. Owens actually, from what I heard, wasn't even supposed to be in this match. Just shows you with the booking that, just like Styles, they put him in a lot of different spots to be, you know, at the top. But then once that occurs, they just completely forget about him for some reason, and they're done with it. They just move on. But they're good at making people forget, oh, that this happened, or whatever it is happened. But if you know, you know. So, yeah, Reigns and Owens coming up next. WWE TLC. You're a coward, says Kevin Owens. Yeah, Reigns isn't at the head of the table. He's underneath the table, like the big dog he is, getting fed table food. So hashtag WWE TLC. They're still going to run this damn vignette, this promo video package here. I mean, this has been going on for a few weeks now. But they have done a good job hyping up this event, building towards it, following Survivor Series, because I think they know they messed up with just... They try to do too much sometimes and put it all together, and then it just doesn't turn out. They can't execute, you know, for the most part sometimes, but then sometimes they can. It's like, well, you know, why the hell couldn't you have done this, you know, whenever? You know, because like I said, it seems like it's every other pay-per-view that's good. The one in between isn't. So, this match has been announced for a few weeks, as have most of the others. The only change really was just adding Firefly Inferno match to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. That's now going to main event TLC after this match coming up next with Reigns and Owens, but it'll be a TLC match with tables, ladders, and chairs for the WWE Universal Championship with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media with links in the description below. That thumbs up button, red subscribe button as well, the little notify bell next to it. Share hashtag WWE TLC. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated. Here comes the big dog, the tribal chief himself, at the head of his table, with Paul Heyman by his side. No Uso brothers as of yet. They'll probably come out a little bit later on because, just as earlier, with it being a TLC match, it's anything goes. No DQ, no holds barred, anything goes. Might have a few interruptions with interference. Might be, squeaky clean, but Reigns actually coming out first. So Owens, both sort of stood tall. I mean, that really doesn't mean anything a lot anymore anyway. On a go on before pay-per-view, but Owens is getting the secondary treatment for entrances, and normally when you come out last, that's a good sign. But normally when you're a champion, you also come out last. You come out after your opponent. So here comes the big dog, the head of the Roman Empire, on his island. And his island, for the past, since he's returned, August till now, has been inside the WWE Thunderdome. Virtually, of course, with the WWE Universe. But it's 2020. Owens is going to pay? I don't know. I mean, there's been talk of bringing Goldberg back again. For whatever reason, I don't know why. It make no sense. But, there's always a but, okay? But, and this is a big but. You go back to Fastlane in 2017. Owens had held the then red Universal title since the previous August, after SummerSlam, due to an injury, okay? Had the help of Triple H, won the Universal title on Monday Night Raw. So you gotta go the whole way back to late summer 2016 to get to March of 17 before WrestleMania 33. You then had Goldberg at Fastlane defeat Owens in a squash match. If from now until Mania they play their cards right, it could work out, okay? You have Owens win tonight, become Universal Champion again. Put Reigns on the back burner for a second. You bring Goldberg back, have Owens beat Goldberg, or for the most part, they would have Goldberg beat Owens again, which is so stupid. But then it'd make Reigns look even stronger come Mania, when, as Owens right off the bat attacks Roman Reigns, doesn't even make his entrance, so that's why Owens didn't come out first. He attacks Roman Reigns, bell rings, match underway, WWE Universal Championship match, TLC style here tonight at tables, ladders, and chairs. Owens from one corner to the other with a cannonball. Paul Heyman ringside. All he can do is watch. And Owens going to leave it all out there. Starting off strong. Another cannonball right into Reigns in front of the barricade ringside. No, but just hear me out. You put the title on Owens. Goldberg comes back, beats him again, which I wouldn't like, but if it works out, it works. Because then you get the WrestleMania match you were supposed to have last year, Reigns and Goldberg. Reigns pulled out. Strowman replaced him. Strowman beat Goldberg at Mania. Was Universal Champion until Bray won it. SummerSlam, Reigns 1 week later, Payback, after making his return to SummerSlam to close out the show. You'll never see it coming. But then you have Reigns beat Goldberg and become WWE Universal Champion again at WrestleMania. I could see that happening. I could. It's all going to depend on what happens tonight. Now, they could still go that route, but you don't do anything with Owens. You just have him lose straight up tonight. And then you set up Reigns and Goldberg from now until WrestleMania. Here comes Jey Uso, super kick from Owens. So yes, no DQ because it's a TLC match. But I think they know Goldberg, with bringing him back as many times as they have, that's run its course. Nobody cares. You know, he's not that good to begin with, so it'd just be stupid. It wouldn't make any sense, but just knowing them, I could already see it, you know. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully Owens wins tonight. I doubt he's going to. You know, he never deserved to lose the way he did against Goldberg, and he's never been able to recapture the Universal title since. You know, that's going on 4 years, which is hard to believe, but it's going on 4 years. Owens with a few steel chair shots of Jey Uso, and then a stomp with the ankle of Uso in the chair ringside. Owens going to take down the announce table now, so maybe the Firefly Inferno match is cinematic, and they're going to save that for the main event, of course. But or if they have to do a lot of cleanup afterwards, it's not going to interfere with any other matches. They save it for the main event because there's going to be a lot of fire, I'd expect. You know, and if something would go wrong, well, okay, you can just cut it and end, rather than, well, we still have this to do and this to do and this to do. Reigns with a drive-by on Owens on the ring apron as Uso is being carried out by a few WWE referees. So Reigns now back in control. Really, first time during this match in control for the big dog, with Owens not making his entrance, and Owens attacking Roman right from the start. So now Reigns with a set of steel steps right to the side of the head of Kevin Owens. Jesus. 4 steel step shots now. Make that 5. To Kevin Owens, and then Reigns picks him up and throws the steel steps in the barricade. Reigns now with another set of another ladder there. Picks it up, hits Owens with it. Why isn't Owens bleeding? I mean, he's taking all these shots to the head. Why is he not bleeding? Another ladder shot from Reigns to Owens. So the only reason why Reigns is in control is he's allowed to use all these weapons right now, and you know, because it's all legal, he's getting away with it. It's okay. Whereas when Owens was in control, the worst he did to Jey Uso was hit him with a steel chair. He didn't even touch Reigns with anything. He just attacked him and then hit a few cannonballs, and you know, that was that. Reigns now another steel chair right to the back of Kevin Owens. Sunday Night Football here, early second quarter. The Browns, they lead the Giants 7-3. So still a lot of football to be played, of course. But Reigns now with another few steel chair shots to KO. So the finish with this here, Owens just getting brutalized, attacked from start to finish, and you know, Reigns wins easy, or Owens fights back and comes just, you know, also close before losing, because Reigns is going to retain. I'd be, like I said, I want Owens to win, but I'd be shocked if he does. Reigns gonna send him through now. 2 steel chairs set up side by side. Actually, no. Owens gonna reverse. They're gonna go for a pop-up power bomb on Reigns. No, Reigns reverses that, and then flips Owens up top and sends him through those 2 steel chairs. Now Reigns talking to himself. Acting as the tough guy he is. Owens ringside, so Reigns going to set up a ladder. All he has to do is climb that ladder and grab the title, and he retains. Vice versa for Owens, he'd win. Owens with a steel chair to the back of Reigns, now with the gut. Back again. Ladder set up. So Reigns setting up the ladder for Kevin Owens. All Owens has to do is climb that ladder, grab the title, and he's Universal Champion for the first time in 3.5, almost 4 years. It is. It always is. Ooh. Suplex from Owens to Reigns through a chair that was set up. Paul Heyman can't believe it. Heyman's been a big focal point in this feud as well with Kevin Owens. You know, they've been going at it on the mic on SmackDown, but then also on Talking Smack. So, ladder's set up. Owens climbing the ladder. All he has to do is grab the title. He's Universal Champion. He's grabbing the title, and here comes Jey Uso from behind. Oh, so close. It is. So who's Owens going to have come out and beat up Reigns? Oh, wait, no one. He's by himself. But because Reigns is head of the table and he's, you know, the favorite, current champion, of course, you know, he's got some help. Reigns back on his feet. Superman punch to Kevin Owens. Reigns actually knocks the ladder over by mistake, I think, into Jey Uso. I thought Uso was going to help him set it up, but no. Jey Uso is going to go grab a table ringside for some reason. It's like, set the ladder up, climb it, and grab the damn title. That's all you have to do. But to play it out and have the match go on for, you know, however long here, okay. Jey Uso with that table. Gonna slide it in the ring, maybe. Having some trouble. Okay, Reigns has the table now. I am the table. Another table is brought into the ring. What are they gonna do here? Okay, Reigns sets up the one table in the corner, props it up. Looking down the ground, talking to himself again. Now, stepping on the back of the head of Kevin Owens. If that looks familiar, well, what started everything back in May. Okay, Owens getting out of it. Reversal on the super kick to Jey Uso. Stunner to Roman Reigns. All Owens has to do is prop that ladder back up and climb it. Grab the title. He's got the ladder part. You got to put it up the other way, though. You can't climb upwards when it's on its side and laying down on the ground. Not unless you're Spider-Man. Okay, ladder is up. Ladder is up. Okay, Jey Uso from behind going to drag him out of the ring. Now they're fighting ringside. Yeah, this is basically a 2-on-1 handicap match for the title. Pop-up powerbomb through the announce table from Owens to Jey Uso. Who's next? Paul Heyman? Go after Heyman, Owens. He's untouchable, though. He doesn't take any bumps, which I don't blame him. Probably die. So now Owens stepping on the announce table. He's actually covering up Jey Uso with the broken announce table. Takes Corey Graves' chair, throws it on top of all that as well. Desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Kevin Owens climbing the ladder. Where's Reigns at, though? Reigns has to be coming from somewhere. Yeah, here he comes. He's going to climb the other side. Owens grabbing the title. He's reaching. No, here comes Reigns. Now they're hitting right hands. Is Jimmy Uso going to return tonight? Okay, now they're both back down on the ground, middle of the ring. Rights and left, back and forth, connecting. And now Owens up top. Powerbomb from Reigns on top of the ladder to Kevin Owens. Reigns checking on Jey Uso, but he's still covered up. Okay, so the ladder's still up in the middle of the ring. And then Reigns actually just did it again. They show the replay of that one because they really didn't get it while showing the replay of the other one. So Owens down and out ringside, just laying there, not doing anything. Okay, Reigns, rock bottom to Owens through the table. You know, there's been talk of Reigns and The Rock too, but until that happens, you know, I'll see it when I believe it. Or I'll believe it when I see it, excuse me. So, it's one of those where just, it's not going to happen. It will, maybe eventually, but not anytime soon. Reigns with a right hand. Owens just up, but then down, up, down. Reigns just sending Kevin Owens to hell and back. Through a table on the Samoan drop. Come on, KO. Reigns once again talking to himself. He likes to do that a lot. You haven't noticed. He likes to do that. Talk to himself. So Owens down that ringside, not moving. Here comes Roman Reigns though. Roman Reigns entering the ring, looking up at his championship title, gonna climb the ladder. Roman Reigns midway up the ladder. Somebody can come out. Here comes Owens from behind. Owens is not going down without a fight. There's no quit in Kevin Owens. Reigns just laughing, like, come on, like, what the hell? So Owens from behind trying to drag down Roman Reigns. This match continues. It's a Universal Championship TLC match. Reigns telling Owens, just enough. Enough's enough. Like, just be done, quit. Owens, no. You know, like I said, he's not backing down without a fight. He's giving it his all. And if anybody deserves Universal or WWE Championship more than Kevin Owens, please let me know, because there's no one more than Kevin Owens that deserves the WWE or Universal Championships more than he does. A spear from Reigns to Owens through a table that's been propped up into the corner, and then Owens rolls out of the ring. Owens actually hit his head a little hard. It looked like spear was sort of along with a table propped up in the corner. Well, it wasn't a full-blown spear, even though it sort of was. Like, it was more standing up on the end result with the finish of that than, you know, a normal spear would be, where you're gonna like sort of flip and then like lay down. But Owens up ringside. Trying to get up at least. Telling Reigns, hey, come on. They're right in front of the timekeepers area. Owens egged him on. Reigns bit. Reigns just went through the timekeepers area with a missed spear. In the meantime, Kevin Owens trying to get back in the ring to climb that ladder and grab the championship title to become Universal Champion here to close out 2020. So maybe with The Miz, unsuccessfully cashing in, Kevin Owens will defeat Roman Reigns. Here comes Owens climbing up the ladder. But where's Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso at? We haven't seen them lately. Kevin Owens climbing the ladder. They zoom in. Kevin Owens at the top of the ladder. Kevin Owens is grabbing the Universal title. No. Here comes Reigns from behind. Oh my God. Owens trying to still grab that championship title. He's still right there. But Reigns just, come on. Any person, after missing a spear through a barricade, would be down and out for a week, if not longer. But 5 seconds later, he's up, attacking Kevin Owens from behind. And I get it's pro wrestling, but still, come on. Like, just. Just pathetic sometimes, I tell you what. It's time to exterminate Kevin Owens. Are you kidding me, Corey Graves? Super kick from Owens, right to the throat of Roman Reigns. Another super kick from Owens. Pop-up power bomb and then a Superman punch on the reversal from Roman Reigns. Reigns off the ropes. Pop-up power bomb from Owens through the table to Reigns. Once again, all he has to do is set up the ladder and climb it and grab the title and is Universal Champion. Reigns rolls out of the ring. He's down and out. Owens in the Owens climbing the ladder. Here comes Kevin Owens. He's reaching for the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens. Here comes one of the Usos once again from behind as Owens is grabbing the Universal title. Headbutt. Headbutt. Third time's a charm. Uso's going to go through that table that's sitting up right there. Owens is. Stunner. That table actually just broke out of nowhere. Like, literally just collapsed. Okay, so stunner from Owens. He's going to try to climb the ladder once more. Where's Reigns at? He's probably going to be coming back. He is. You can see him there. He's back in the ring. But Owens grabbing the title. Reigns climbing up the other side of the ladder. And then, okay, a low blow. They're at the top of the ladder, and Reigns is just trying to submit Kevin Owens from the top of the ladder with a headlock, and then Owens falls off the top of the ladder. Reigns up top. Boo's already starting to come in. All Reigns has to do is grab the Universal Championship, and he's going to retain. And Roman Reigns grabs the Universal Championship, and Roman Reigns retains his Universal title tonight at TLC against Kevin Owens. What complete bullshit. Come on. I get it. I understand it. I know, but still. Can you at least do something with Kevin Owens falling tonight, though, please? And thank you. Like, maybe have him go up against Sammy, even though Big E's in that mix right now. Maybe, falling, Sammy, losing the IC title potentially to Big E. Put Sammy and Owens back together as a tag team. Just please do something with Kevin Owens. Like, he has to be one of the best workers in the whole entire company, for God's sakes. But only every once in a while, he's in a situation like this. When night in, night out, he should be there, all the time. And because of some help, Roman Reigns once again wins. But it's a part of the story, which, like I said, I get it. I totally understand. I do. But Owens should have won this match a handful of times. But no, Reigns just, like that, flip the switch, keeps coming from behind, and defeats Kevin Owens to retain his WWE Universal Championship tonight at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2020. Very, very good match. Arguably the best match of the night. Both Championship TLC matches, I've thought personally, for his own opinion, have been stellar. Have been very, very good. We have had a few title changes as well. But coming up next, it'll be the Fiend Bray Wyatt and the Viper Randy Orton in the first ever Firefly Inferno match. I have no clue in hell what the hell is going to happen, so we're all going to find out together. But Reigns stands tall, and Roman Reigns, the big dog tribal chief himself, at the head of the table, is still WWE Universal Champion. WWE Network, some new programming over the past month or so with some Stone Cold Broken Skull sessions. Had The Undertaker again, Drew McIntyre now. They actually had a WWE Chronicle release yesterday, I saw, of Kevin Owens. A 24 recently with Limitless Keith Lee. So, yeah. Good time, as always. That's any day of the year to be a pro wrestling fan. So, main event of TLC coming up next. And then we'll be on the road to the new year, of course. But then, about a month away, WWE Royal Rumble. Then road to WrestleMania. And Mania 37 is going to be here before we know it. So, we can all, as always, just sit back, relax, and let it all sink in. Okay. But new year, new opportunities. Same Royal Rumble promo from earlier here. Same dream, and that is to win the Royal Rumble, whether it's the men's or the women's, and main event WrestleMania. Whether or not it's actually going to be the main event of WrestleMania or not, I don't know. But Royal Rumble, Sunday, January the 31st. A little later than usual, but the last day of the month, January the 31st. A week in between the AFC and NFC Championship games with the NFL and Super Bowl 55 on February the 7th. January 31st, Royal Rumble 2021. We're going to have twice the fun in 2021 next year, believe me. So be sure, if you haven't done so already, like, follow, and subscribe. 6 weeks from tonight. 6 weeks until the Royal Rumble. Normally it's 3, maybe 4. Sometimes 5. But 6 weeks. That's a lot of time to fill on Raw and SmackDown on NXT. But this Friday, Sami Zayn is going to defend his Intercontinental Championship on a Christmas edition of SmackDown against Big E. That's a damn good match. That should go over well. Next, though, a Firefly Inferno match. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Firefly Inferno. A Firefly Carol, though, to get us ready for Christmas. Yowie wowie. And this even goes back to the feud they had when Orton was a part of the Wyatt family there for a bit. And Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, WrestleMania 33 for the Universal, or WWE Championship at that point in time, excuse me. And then even House of Horrors, which really for the WWE was their first big cinematic type of match. Because we all know Matt Hardy started all that in TNA Impact. And then WWE, of course, followed suit and took credit for it. And if you don't watch other promotions, it's all you think that this is WWE. You know, they're the ones responsible. Not really. Halftime, Sunday Football, Browns lead the Giants 13-3. We'll go to 10 o'clock with WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC this evening. Our main event of the evening coming up next. It'll be a Firefly Inferno match once again with the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Should be a good match. We'll see if it's going to top Reigns and Owens by any means or not, and if it's going to be cinematic or actually taking place in the Thunderdome, or we'll see. I have no clue what's going to happen. That segment they did on Raw this past week, that was actually pretty good. They had Orton throw Bray into a crate and then lit on fire before the Fiend emerged from inside. And then Orton looked stunned, like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing here? You know, one of those. Firefly Inferno. No pinfalls, no submissions. No DQs. Only way to win is to... Here comes Randy Orton. He's got Viper in his veins, as always. Or Venom in his veins with voices in his head. But the only way to win, you have to light a body part of your opponent on fire. So, we'll have to see if, because I doubt they're going to burn any of Orton's arms with all his tattoos. Maybe his hand, you know, finger here, there, or leg or a foot, somewhere down around the ankle maybe. Bray, I don't know. I mean, maybe a piece of his hair. You know, and then they can just cut it right out, cut it off. But Firefly Inferno. So, it's inside the Thunderdome. This is live right now. No cinematic, but I mean, it's an Inferno match, yeah, but you add Firefly to it, which, of course, that comes from Bray Wyatt. So, we'll see if they change it up, but you still gotta light your opponent on fire to win. So the Legend Killer, otherwise known as the Legend Randy Orton himself, the Viper, with venom in his veins, about to take on the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the first ever Firefly Inferno match. Orton gonna do his pose in the corner. No? Yeah, okay, here he goes. He comes out wearing pants. And he's got a hooded sweatshirt on. Now he does his pose in the corner. Is Bray going to come out as Bray Wyatt, like Firefly Funhouse Bray first, and then the Fiend emerges at some point during the match, or is he going to come out just as the Fiend and wrestle as that? Firefly Funhouse. The Fiend. It's the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton, so it's going to be the Fiend. So the lights are starting to go out now. Let him in. There's the Fiend Bray Wyatt standing at the top of the entrance. Yeah, I bet you they'd burn a piece of his hair, maybe. Or I'm sure with both of them wearing pants, maybe a piece of clothing there just to, you know, be safe. And I'm sure they have stuff underneath that, you know, won't hurt them by any means if they do catch fire. So, Orton looking on as the Fiend Bray Wyatt makes his entrance for the main event of WWE TLC here this evening, Firefly Inferno. Use that hashtag Firefly Inferno as well when you share on social media. So we're going to have 15 minutes. Once they get underway here, we'll have 15 minutes. which should be plenty of time. Because they'll light before they start. They should, at least, if there's actually going to be fire burning, you know, ringside or even on the ropes. And then when you go in the ropes, you know, you could catch fire. So I'm sure it's going to be hot. When was the last time they even had an Inferno match? Especially at a pay-per-view. I mean, it would have had to have been, I'd think, with Kane at some point, but I don't know. Fiend Bray Wyatt's in the ring, sitting in the corner waiting for Orton to get in the ring as he's been ringside during the entrance. Bell rings, match underway. And there's no fire. Okay. So maybe whoever wins this is gonna light a match or with some type of lighter. Catch their opponent on fire because that's the only way you can win. Maybe even a blowtorch or something along those lines. Orton with a right hand to the Fiend. Bray does not move. Bray just laughs. Orton with a kick right to the head. And Bray does not move. Laughs and sticks his tongue out. Another right hand. And then RKO, no. Bray with a right hand. Down goes Orton. Another right hand in the corner. Headbutt. Headbutt. Orton off the ropes. Nice crossbody there by Bray. More of a shoulder tackle than anything. Orton going to take his sweatshirt off. Sister Abigail. No. Orton with a drop kick. Bray's still on his feet, though. He's up against the ropes, but he's still on his feet. Headbutt right to the chest. It looked like a Randy Orton. Now into the corner. Off the ropes. Clothesline misses. There's the crossbody by Bray. I think that's what he was trying to go for a second ago, and then he hit him with a shoulder tackle. Crossbody there, going to go for Sister Abigail. Where's Alexa Bliss at? Nice backbreaker by Randy Orton. And the Fiend right back up on his feet. RKO misses, no. Sister Abigail, that connects. Orton rolls out of the ring, though. Wow. Now all the fire has been lit. All Bray had to do was do what the Undertaker used to do, and now we got some fire. The fire is lit, and it looks like it's right behind the barricade. And they got a few torches, of course, going upwards, circling probably about maybe 5 or 6 of those spaced out, just so, of course, they don't merge and create one big fire, even though technically this is one big fire. And for the fire that was closest to the camera, when he did that, yeah, that looked real, but now for some reason these ones don't on the TV side. I don't know why. They actually light again, so alright. Clothesline ringside by Bray. Bray's got, what the hell is that? Some type of whip. So they waited, you know, how long there? A couple minutes to light the fire, but now that they got it, it has stayed on, and they even, you know, made it go a little bit bigger there a second ago, but you can hear it burning. Yeah, Bray with this whip, and he catches it on fire. It's a strap. And now he's going to Orton, misses as Orton moves out of the way. So I'm sure there's somebody right behind that barricade to put that out, because he missed with the hit. Orton face first into the ring post. Where the hell are your announcers at? Because the announce table is not even there. That's why they took it down last match. The hell is that, a crowbar? Or is that an axe? What the hell is that? Bray misses on that as Orton moves out of the way. Now it seems like it's jammed into the barricade. Yeah, it was a pickaxe. Thought so. And then you can see Bray's rocking chair sitting there too. But no, they set up a spot for the fire in where the announce table is normally at. And that's what Bray... Alright, he's got his rocking chair and a gas can. And Bray Wyatt is pouring gasoline on his rocking chair. And now he's going to pour some in a straight line to Randy Orton through the gas can. Just wait till that catches fire. The whole place is going to go up. Orton into the steel steps. More fire's been lit. Somebody going to be sitting in that maybe, and then it catches fire and they go up with it. Orton actually now sitting in the chair, all right. And since there's that line, all he has to do is light a match. And Orton's already sitting in the chair, and he's going to go up and smoke. Bray's got a lighter now. Throws it down. Orton still in the chair, gets out at the last second. But now Bray Wyatt's rocking chair is on fire. This is good. This is good. So Bray Wyatt, I mean, he's adding to the list of all these different matches he's been in, you know, throughout the years. And now Firefly Inferno. Steel steps. Orton with a, hell is that, a baseball bat? Or a 2x4? And then steel steps from Orton to the Fiend. Bray still has his jacket on. He hasn't taken his jacket off yet. Into the barricade goes Bray Wyatt. But I'd rather be, you know, yeah, probably wearing the leather jacket than the cutoff he has underneath it, especially when there's fire involved. That's why Orton probably hasn't taken his sweatshirt off yet. He has nothing on underneath it. Now Orton with a set of chains, wrapping it up in his hands. Go for a punch. Now wrapping it around Bray Wyatt. And trying to burn the face of Bray Wyatt. Maybe he catches the mask on fire. And then Bray comes back with an even sicker mask. Orton with the chain, though, back in the ring. Bray picks him up and slams him down. Fire burns some more. And then tries to snap his neck, but of course that didn't go well. You can't make that unless you're an actor, or unless you're actually going to do it. You can't make it, you know, look as real as, you know, it could be. Orton ringside, Bray sitting on the ring apron now. Just sitting there, staring at Orton. Now he gets down, steps on his hand. Okay, that was an axe handle that Orton had a little bit ago. So Bray had a pickaxe, and then Orton with an axe handle, and that's real fire. Orton just reversed Bray, catching the axe handle on fire and going to hit him, but he kicked him, and now he's going to go vintage Orton off of the ring apron to the floor with a DDT. Yeah, Orton going to go for an RKO here. Alexa's probably going to come out. Orton setting up an RKO. No. Mandible Claw locked in. Bray going to push Orton into the barricade where the fire's at. And then Orton reverses. Mandible Claw still locked in though. And then Bray Wyatt is on fire. Randy Orton wins. Bray Wyatt's jacket is on fire. He actually rolls back into the ring. What the hell are you doing on fire? RKO. Bray Wyatt is still on fire. So Randy Orton has won. The back of Bray was completely on fire. As Bray had the Mandible Claw locked in. Okay. Orton reversed it, pushed Bray into the fire then. Part of his back right leg caught on fire as well. Of course, they probably touched up a few spots. Hey, you catch fire, it's going to go here. You'll be fine. The fire's actually out now. It didn't last that long. But the back of Bray and Orton a little concerned now. Bray laying in the middle of the ring. So Bray caught fire, stormed back in the ring. Orton hit him with an RKO. But Bray now just laying there, motionless. Orton just kicking him. now putting his hands on his head like, what the hell did I do? Like, I did win, yeah, but what the hell did I do to the Fiend Bray Wyatt? Bray's going to sit up, or Bray's going to do something here to close this out. Or Orton might go grab that gas can and pour some fire on him, or pour some gas on him and light him on fire. Yeah, he goes for the gas can, alright, because he looked that way. That's why I said that. Smells it, just as anybody else would or wouldn't do. But Randy Orton now with a gas can, going to pour gas on the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the middle of the ring. What, are they going to light the ring on fire? And that's how it's going to end? Light Bray and the ring on fire and close it out. Fade to black. The Fiend Bray Wyatt going to be gone. Just don't pour in his mouth. It's probably not water. Or it's probably not gas, it's probably water now. Randy Orton is now dumping gas, covering the body of Bray Wyatt. All he has to do is light it. And yeah, make sure he didn't get anything on you. Now some matches, just as he burnt the house. House of Horrors. Bray's going to sit up here. No? Not yet? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Orton has poured gas on Bray. Now a match away. Match is lit. The match is lit. One match away from burning the Fiend Bray Wyatt all to hell. Orton drops the match, and the Fiend Bray Wyatt is burning alive in the middle of the ring. Of course, that's not him laying there, but still. Because when Randy went to go get the gas can, that's when Bray would have rolled out, and they threw something there to, make it look like. Because you even go back, the hair, you could tell that was totally different. Like the top of the scalp of the Fiend Bray Wyatt. But Randy Orton wins. They actually, closing credit, fade to black real quick to close out TLC tonight. But that's Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2020, and Randy Orton in the main event of the evening defeats the Fiend Bray Wyatt and then burns him alive to close out the show. So, only way to win, of course, was to catch your opponent on fire. He did that. Then hit him with an RKO. Then he went one step further and burned the Fiend Bray Wyatt alive in the middle of the ring to end the year of 2020 with WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC. Thank you for tuning in and watching. We did have 2 title changes. We witnessed the Hurt Business become Raw Tag Team Champions after they defeated the New Day. Asuka and Charlotte Flair defeated Nia Jax and Shayna Bazer as well, becoming your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Big E with Daniel Bryan, Otis, and Chad Gable on the kickoff pre-show. Seems like an eternity ago. In the meantime, Bray Wyatt is now burning alive, burning in hell, after Randy Orton just defeated him to close out TLC this evening. Big E pinning Sami Zayn for the win with King Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro. But 2 title changes with the Hurt Business defeating the New Day, becoming your new Raw Tag Team Champions. Asuka and the mystery partner with Charlotte making a return. They defeated Nia Jax, Shayna Bazer became your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions as well. Sasha Banks retained her SmackDown Women's title over Carmella, along with both Drew McIntyre and the Big Dog Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns, retaining their WWE and WWE Universal Championships, respectively, over AJ Styles and The Miz, along with Kevin Owens, as The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, making that WWE TLC Championship match a triple threat match. So Drew McIntyre still your WWE Champion, Roman Reigns still your Universal Champion, and then it was time for the first ever Firefly Inferno match that we just witnessed in the main event of the evening. Randy Orton, the legend killer, just killed and burnt the Fiend Bray Wyatt in tonight's main event of WWE TLC. So, Royal Rumble, Sunday, January the 31st. We got a few AEW and NXTs, along with Monday Night Raw and SmackDowns to close out the year. But AEW and NXT are going to be running some holiday, Christmas, New Year episodes. Christmas is coming Friday. Hopefully everyone have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in and watching all my WWE pay-per-view live reaction streams all year long. Always greatly appreciated. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. But hopefully you'll tune back in for more live reactions, play-by-play, as always, live right here on YouTube. Links in the description below. As Christmas on Friday, SmackDown, pre-taped episode of Friday Night SmackDown. They'll be live on New Year's, but AEW going to have a holiday bash episode here coming up shortly. NXT going to have New Year's Evil as well to ring in the new year, as 2020 will be brought to a close, as we just witnessed the Fiend Bray Wyatt potentially, until he returns at some point. They'll put Orton in a situation where he's, all high and mighty, can't be touched, and then out of nowhere, here comes the Fiend Bray Wyatt, returning from the dead after being burned alive tonight at TLC in the Firefly Inferno match. So we'll see what happens, but that's TLC. That's 2020 for WWE main roster pay-per-views. So once again, thank you for tuning in tonight and all year long. Hopefully you'll tune in next year as well. Royal Rumble, January the 31st, a little over a month away, but we'll get there in 6 weeks' time. But still have Raw, NXT, along with AEW and SmackDowns in the meantime. So hopefully you'll tune back in live right here on YouTube for more pro wrestling, along with college football and NFL live reaction streams. As always, live right here on YouTube. Randy Orton defeats and burns alive the Fiend Bray Wyatt tonight at WWE TLC. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. Links in the description below.